Hello, this is Kieran, coming at you to explain my tool class and go over some of the core concepts. Now, if we take a quick glance at my tools, we can see I have bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, a check vowel, a pig Latin, is prime, next prime, palindrome, binary search, greatest, least, and random number, then to char array, print array 4 times to get those, to make it able to print every type of array. So if we go to the top, the first thing we can see is the 3 sorting methods that I made. We can quickly go over bubble sort, which uses 2 for loops and an if statement to check if a number is greater than the other. Then it will switch the 2 if it is, and it will keep on doing that until all the greater numbers bubble to the top. And you can see that this is I starts as the array length -1 and it goes till it reaches 0, so it excludes that greatest one each time. We can see this in effect if I just take out the comments here, have it generate a random array for me, take out bubble sort, take out the print array, and then we can see it sort that array. Ooh. It prints out creates, as you can see here, creates 5 negative numbers, 5 positive numbers, all within 0 and 50, or in negative case 0 and -50. And if I run this a couple of times, the different numbers, every time it will be sorted. Ooh. Okay. Now if we go down, just explain selection sort. Again, to arrays, but this time it finds the lowest number and then it moves it to the front of the whole array, and then each time it'll exclude whichever numbers are already sorted from searching. Then finally insertion sort, which this one checks the first 2 numbers and puts them in the proper places. Then it will add another number to that and sort it to the proper position, and keep on doing that till it reaches the whole array. And we want to check this one is working. And this one is working. It's all good. Okay. Now these all use for loops to read how long each array is, and it will print it out, or it will change the array using a basic swap, which we can see in the bubble array, which is most effective. Here it is. It creates a 3rd integer as a temporary spot, and swaps it, and then swaps the value that was saved in the temporary integer with the one you want to swap it to, and then you swap the one that you just changed with the temporary one to complete a swap. Next, I have a check vowel, which just inputs a character, and then it will return a boolean based on if it's a vowel or not. I just made this for the pig Latin translator, and pig Latin translator will just take a string. It doesn't work with punctuation, but it will translate it to lowercase, so nothing's present. It will create a new string, and then it will save a string array called words, which is just each word separated by the space, which you can see here by string.split and then in space. And then it will save an integer with the amount of words. Then it just runs a for loop, changing each word based on if it how It will then count how many letters are before a vowel and then change the word depending on how many letters are before the vowel. You can see if it starts with a word or with a vowel, then you just add weight to the end, and if it doesn't start with a vowel, then you put all the letters before the vowel at the end of the string, and then add a to the end. And then after each time, it will add the word to the new string. Then it returns a new string, and we can see this run here. Comment out this. I'll keep that, but I shall comment out this and leave the Pig Latin in, and let's see, it translated all to Pig Latin down here, and we can change it up. Say, yo, what is up, my dudes? I'll translate it all to Pig Latin. The is prime is very simple. It just checks if a number has any, uses the mod and checks if it has any, is divisible by anything, and if it is, then it just returns as false. Then the next prime, this one I had you input a number, input how many prime numbers you want after it, and then it'll create an array, and it'll save each prime number after it by using a for loop that will end once you have gained all the once you have found however many prime numbers you want, and it'll return the array full of those. Is palindrome, it just saves a new number, and then it copies a number as a reverse, and then the copy will get will be mod 10, returning the single digit variable at the end, and then it will be divided by 10, chopping that off, and it will finally the reverse number will be added, the one at the end, and moved aside one to fit it, and then it just compares the two numbers, and if they're equal, it is a palindrome. Now binary search, this one uses some advanced logic. So binary search is different from a linear search because it, instead of going through all of the numbers or values in the array, it just starts at the midpoint. It needs to be sorted for this to work, and it will go at the midpoint, and then it will check to see if the number we're looking for is bigger or less or is equal to the midpoint, and it will chop off either half of the array as not the number, or we will find the number, and it just keeps on doing that, constantly dividing how many terms needed to search by half. Yep, and we can see that in action if we so desire. We'll just get a insertion sort going, print that bad boy. And then we do binary search here. Now we'll search the array. Let's do, I have a feeling that negative 26 will be in it. I actually don't know because it's completely random. Nope, it wasn't in it, so it responded with negative 1, which can't be a value in an array. So let's run it again, and negative 26 is actually in this one. You can see it is at the third term with 0, 1, 2, 3, and it is right there. And you can see that it printed out, it is at the third term. Down here, let's just get some notable things quick. The greatest and least, I just use a for loop that would constantly check to see see if a number is greater or less and give you the end result. And I saved the first number as the first value in the array. Random number here, I use casing to change the double given by math.random to an int so it could return a full number. And the two-char array, just a for loop that would save each letter as a char in the new array. And here I use print array, and it's the same code for each thing, but the only difference is what it inputs. So this is just useful so I can input any type of array in here and it'll just print it out. I also have the custom gaps in case I want commas or just want spaces. Yeah, and that is my tool class full of useful tools. Thanks for watching. I can't end this though.